welcome to another episode of Chrissy Chaos. Today we're coming to you live from Los Angeles. Well, it's not live. You'll see it in a week. But it is live right now in this moment.
It's so real right now.
It's so real.
We're so close. They sat us like completely. I've never done a show. This is like the podcast where someone comes on that like talks about neuroscience.
Right.
And the person just sits there and asks them like, but how do we, you know what I mean?
I feel like we're docking.
Yes. Oh yeah. I feel like my penis head is inside your penis head. Or am I the top or are you the inside?
I think I'm the top.
Who's the alpha, the inside or the outside?
The outside.
The outside's the alpha of the docking? You don't think the one whose penis head's totally in is kind of like...
It depends who's circumcised.
Because the top is... Can two uncircumcised dock?
Yes.
Okay.
They can't... Well...
Is like being Jewish like you can't dock?
No, being Jewish... No. Oh, that's right.
Can you be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you've docked?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
You just can't get a tattoo of people docking?
Exactly.
Okay.
Annie Lederman, folks. And this is John and Richie, right? This is at the
this.
Yes, this is John and Richie.
Hi guys.
What is this called? Dos Equis Studios? Seven Equis.
I know, I called it Dos Equis. I worked with them for so long. I called it Dos Equis for so long. It's so weird to be back. It's fun.
Look at this.
I like the two plants. I will say I want to give shout out to production. There were signs on the parking spots that said Chrissy D Production.
I know. I texted it to you. I said park here.
Cute.
Thank you. I didn't know anything about it.
You didn't know they were going to do that.
I did not know that they were going to have printouts.
That was really to type up and print out, and there's like a little lacquer over it. It's
yes.
Like, they shellacked it.
They did shellac.
It's like amazing.
Yesterday, Annie and I saw each other at the Comedy Store. We were there. We saw each other at the Hollywood Improv for Tim Dillon's Netflix show watch party thing, and then Tim gave us a ride in his Rolls-Royce. And
when you have a Rolls-Royce, you just take people for like a 12-minute ride.
Yeah, I thought he was driving me to my destination.
I thought we were going somewhere.
Yeah.
I got all my stuff. I was like, hold on, let me go. I had like a jacket. I had all my things.
Yeah, I paid a $10 cancel fee on my Uber because like, oh, Tim's going to drive me, and then he just drove us around 6 blocks and dropped us right back off in front of the Improv.
In the car though, I did remember he was supposed to do a Q&A, so I was like, wait, are we just, which is a Tim Dillon move, which is like, I learned so much from Tim on power moves.
Right.
He's not trying to do power moves. It's a very natural thing to him.
Yeah.
To have a party for yourself where you say, stick around for a Q&A, and then there's just Q, there's no A.
Yeah.
There's no A around.
No. He literally yesterday did this premiere party, and he was honestly, and I do believe him on this, he was wanted to not even go to the premiere party and send a picture of himself on a plane back to New York and post that because he was like, I don't even want to go. He was supposed to be my first guest, but he canceled.
He's a canceller.
He is, but you know what? I kind of respect it because so am I.
No, I love it.
Here's the thing about me, and I think you're similar this way. That's why I think we've always gotten along. I'm the kind of person, if I was sitting in this chair and you were supposed to be my guest and you were like, I'm not going to make it, I would just then turn to the camera and do the podcast by myself and not get mad at you at all.
I would never be mad. I don't care if people are late. I actually appreciate when people are late. It's more time for me to do stuff.
Yeah, or like dinner.
Keep the out. You always keep the out. Like,
yes.
You never fuck someone's out. If I'm late, we have the same out. It's just...
I can't, it really bothers me when people like get mad if like you cancel or I would never, I'm like, I just want people to be happy.
Learn to pivot.
Yeah, I'm not
but
your
also,
mom.
I don't even want to be mad at them. Like, it's like just different personalities. Because if you are like, it's not an unreasonable thing to be mad about, but I just feel like as my life flows on, I try to be more like, let's just go with what's going on.
Yes.
And I try my best to like not let people down with plans, but sometimes it just happens.
It happens.
There was, when I was driving here on the highway, a fucking caution cone flung out of the back of someone's car and was right in front of the car. Like, I was like, this could be my death.
Right.
And would you have been sitting here mad at me for not being here?
No, I would have
been.
The
production would be like, there she is, she's late again.
Yeah. I would have literally went to the road and got whatever pieces of you I could scrape off and put it in the chair and be like, this is Annie Lederman. The skinniest she's ever been.
She was supposed to be Tim Dillon, but we got a piece of her.
Yes, instead we have her 3 severed fingers. You look pretty.
Thank you. You look very handsome. I hugged Chris last night and his pecs were so hard.
That's it, yes. I
don't think I've ever hugged hard. Like, my fiance is very handsome. He eats McDonald's. He eats like shit. He just turned 30, so he's not like...
Ew, I just turned 40.
I'm 41.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You got a young boy.
I got a youngie, and he's Asian, so you know
Well,
how you
that's
guys
it.
are.
It's just my boy right
But
here.
I'm like actually scared to call people Asian now because last night on stage I was 100% sure this girl was Asian and she was fully Mexican. And people do this to my fiance all the time, but this girl I was like, she's fully Asian. Both parents are Asian. She had soup for breakfast.
Yeah.
She knows how to ration her rice. Like I
Yes.
love this girl. She still looks cute, but I
Right.
know she eats the food.
Yes.
And she was fully Mexican. I was like,
Wow.
you have to do your makeup different. You can't have it go up. It has to go down.
What kind of Asian is your fiance?
He's half Laos. He's Laotian.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, Laos is the most. This is fun. I know some stuff.
Yes.
His mom tells me this stuff when she's drunk.
He's a lousy boy.
He's a lousy boy. Laos is the most bomb per capita country that has ever existed.
Sick.
Because in the Vietnam War, when America was bringing their bombs back, they couldn't bring the bombs back, so they just were like, we'll just drop them on these Asian people. We'll just drop them. So they have
Like
all
innocent
of these,
people just
yeah, like fuck these people.
Yeah.
So they just like, and Obama was the first president to even acknowledge it, but they're just living in minefields. Like all the kids have like one arm.
Right.
Like speaking of 3 fingers, but that's how much you can get in them.
But you got a hot one.
I got a hot one. But so his mom gave me this like, so they have these like people that go out and they have to like explode the bombs. They find them so the kids don't find them, and then they go off site and then they like ignite them. And his mom gave me, there's a service that does that, and the organization sells these like bracelets that are made of like some of the bombs. So she gave me this bomb bracelet, and I go through TSA and I keep beeping, I keep beeping. And I'm like, I'm so cocky, I've learned a thing. Like, you know history, I know nothing. So that's like the only part of history that I know is what she told me in this thing she showed me. So I am 10 seconds away from going, like, when I realized it's my bracelet, I'm going, this is a bomb. Like, I was like 10 seconds. And Todd was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, oh, I would have been on a goddamn list. Because they would have cavity searched me, even though it was just like
100%.
Yeah, I
They
would've
just
been
find
done.
vibrators in your ass.
I'd be like, oh, that's where I kept the other bomb.
Whoops. Wait, you have a Laos boyfriend. What, Laotian? Put the Laotian in the basket. Do you ever do that to him?
Yes. Well, it's Laotian.
Oh, sorry.
But I like that. Put the Laotian in the basket.
Put the Laotian in the basket. Maybe
I'll be using that. You'll see it on my special.
there it is. But his name's Todd. What's his Laotian name?
It's Todd Fangsum Walker. Is
Nice.
his middle name Fangsum? I
Fangsum.
know it. Isn't that
Do you ever
cool
call
that
him
I know?
Fangsum?
That's fun. No.
You should call him Fangsum. Do you ever be like,
When I'm like
"Fuck me"?
whipping him.
Yeah.
No, he kind of crawls on the floor towards me, like in.
Right. Does he feel like when he's having
like a
sex with you, like
Margot
he's
Robbie?
like it's enemy pussy to him?
No, but he does explode at the end. It's like a
he does.
quick, like
Yeah.
long kind of
Agent
explosion.
Orange.
But I was thinking our wedding, we should have our
Which,
wedding.
by the way, can I ask, am I going to get invited to your
You would
wedding?
be invited to the wedding,
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Would you come though? This
I
is the
actually
thing.
would.
I feel like nervous about dates and stuff. It's like you don't want to have like no fun people because people are doing shows. I wouldn't expect people to cancel weekends. 'Cause
Are
of my
you
birth.
doing it in California?
I don't know what we're doing.
Do it
I
in
have
Philly. Go back home.
Philly.
Come back to Philly.
Sometimes when I go to Philly, I like will be sitting at dinner and start crying.
Yeah, but you are Northeast.
I don't love like Philly. Like I feel more sentimental towards Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I lived for 7 years.
You lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico?
Yeah, I lived there for 7 years.
Why?
I went to school there and then I just stayed there. And I have like a lot of like weird love towards it. And I think that's where I realized my dreams.
Interesting.
So when I go back, I'm like, remember when I, you know.
How do you realize your dream? Were you doing ayahuasca?
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
Santa Fe was one of the first places that did the tax cut where you could film movies there for really cheap. Mm-hmm. So we got all these movies in town. So I was like this like drunk go-go dancer girl, and I would just meet all of these like movie stars, and it was just I kind of was like, oh. And I met The Longest Yard came there. They were redoing The Longest Yard, the Adam Sandler remake.
Oh yeah.
And so I met like him, Nick Swartzen, like all these comedians, and then I was like, oh. And Adam Sandler's chef, I became friends with.
There it is.
Buddies. Every bathroom's unisex when you're doing drugs, but
True. I still haven't done coke yet, but I
you
want.
never
I'm getting
did it.
close.
You have a good nose for coke.
I'm getting closer to starting to like want to experiment with like a real hard drug.
Well, when you're in your 40s, that's when it becomes hard. It's kind of cute when you're younger.
So you mean like me doing coke now for the first time would not be good? You think it would hit me harder?
It depends on what you think is good.
I just want to feel I'm getting to, I turned 40 last month, and I'm like, I haven't lived a lot. I feel like I haven't experienced a lot. Like you've lived a good life. You're in New Mexico, did a bunch of drugs. Like you feel very gratified. You feel very satisfied. You've done, sometimes I feel like I've done things in my career, but I'm like, I really was like sheltered a lot. I didn't do anything. I never really did drugs. I didn't party hard like
Can
that.
I just say, when I met this man at the Laugh Lounge, he was wearing a jersey that went to like his ankles. I imagine him like the biggest jersey that's ever existed.
Yes, I was literally dressed like when Annie
He was a wigger, and I am drawn to like it's my people. So
yeah, I was dressed like a black. I was 26 years old. I'm a white 26-year-old male, and I was dressed like a black male teenager from the mid 90s.
And then there was like a mini you that was just like Pete Davidson was just like the 13-year-old version that came in.
And then just exploded.
It was a lot of 9/11.
Oh my God, we were.
He was his first jokes were about it. We're like, okay. He was like, I'm gonna go into like the deepest parts of my life right now.
But those were the good old days. You and I met. I think must have been 2009. So I didn't even know that you had a whole life in New Mexico before I even met you.
I just came back. Yeah, I remember I felt like hot shit in New Mexico. I felt like really cool. And popular. And then I moved to New York. I was like, one, I'm the fattest person I've ever seen. Two, I'm in cowboy boots. Like I was like literally like I had worked at a restaurant in Santa Fe that was called the Cowgirl, and you had to dress. In cowgirl outfits, which is like, it's not already humiliating enough to be a server, right? To wear a costume. But I basically was like still wearing like turquoise and stuff. I was dressed like I had retired. Right.
But you had fun. You had like real. I remember you coming to New York and like you had like really fun. You had former fat girl energy. Yeah. Back then, I remember you had a boyfriend.
I never got full fat until maybe more recently.
You're not fat. You look good though.
No, now I went on Ozempic for 6 months.
Did you?
And then I got off of it, and I've never been healthier since I got off of it.
I was going to say, tell me about, because Ozempic, I was talking to a doctor the other day, and he was like, what Ozempic is doing is, you're going to hear it's got side effects and this and that, but he said what it actually is doing is, like 200 years ago, like people would die of scurvy, you would die of a fever, and then antibiotics came out. And he was like, Ozempic is going to cure obesity. Obesity is the thing that we're living with now, that 100 years from now, that people won't live with it anymore. Do you feel like, what is it? You're not hungry?
No, I did the semi-glutide, so it was just like the generic version, but it was such a good experience. I believe in hypnosis too. So before I even have video of me, before I put it into my chubby little stomach, I looked at the camera and I went, I never get bad side effects. Nothing ever affects me. I only have the best experiences with every medicine I ever use. And then I injected myself, and I basically had that where it started to help my ADD. Really? I felt cognitively like more clear. It was easier for me to do things. Like I didn't have this voice in my head that was like basically telling me to do the bad thing or stay in bed, or like I just was really like able to be up and at 'em. Not that I worked out, because working out you're kind of like you kind of get frail. You're like, I'm so skinny, like I can't pick that up. But it didn't make me eat better or anything. I just wasn't obsessing about food, thinking about food. I just would eat what was in front of me, and because my fiance eats like shit, I kind of was eating badly, but I lost 30 pounds.
But wouldn't you eat? Would you say you ate less? Maybe like.
Yeah, I wasn't eating like until like I could feel my stomach expand, and then like 10 minutes past that, I was definitely using food before that as a coping mechanism to feel better, and I just don't have that.
You don't, and that stayed with you even though you don't take the medicine anymore.
It stayed with me, and now I'm way better afterwards, because once I got off of it, I was like, now I have something to keep. Like I want to keep my shape, and I want to get like ripped, because you lose muscle mass, and now I'm building my muscle up. I'm only having protein.
Right. Wait, but so why did you stop taking it then?
Oh, this is...
Please. Okay. Is it gross? I want to hear it.
It's not gross. I had no bad side effects. I was like shitting regular. Everything was perfect.
Like S-shaped, beautiful turds?
Everything was coming out.
That's the healthiest turds, by the way, just so you guys know. And at home, you have to look in the toilet bowl.
Yeah, it was an S, but it was one of those Superman S's you draw on your thing. Right. In your chopper keeper, so it was a little weird. Yeah. I'd have to lift up to get each angle. I aimed it. But no, because, okay, so Dr. Drew's wife.
Shout out Dr. Drew.
Love Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew made a big mistake giving me his phone number.
He's circumcised.
Dr. Drew, is he?
He's a Jew.
Have you seen it?
I'm just assuming he's Jewish and he's circumcised.
I don't think he's Jewish.
It's Dr. Drew. His name's Dr. Drew Pinsky.
Dr. Jew? His name is not Dr. Jew.
Oh, I thought it was Dr.
Pinsky can be Polish.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
But I thought it was Dr. Jew Pinsky.
You thought his name was Dr. Jew the whole time? It's so funny. Wait, we haven't just been calling this guy Dr. Jew. We've just been hate criming him the whole time. He would take it. Isn't he so handsome? I love them. Him and his wife are a little like mommy and zaddy.
Oh, you think that they're swingers or something potentially?
No. I think they would have tried to bang me. Right. I hang out with them a
lot. Yeah, I just found out there's like an underground sex club in the tennis club near my house.
Really?
Like, that's interesting.
Are you interested?
No, actually.
Sex clubs kind of are, it's a little too much.
Yeah, I'm not, I get shy with that stuff. I don't know. Like, in theory, I'm like, oh, I want to bang everyone and jerk off everywhere and look at my big balls. But in actual practice, I'd be like, I can't.
Are you ball heavy?
I'm ball heavy. Yeah. I am. So look, I've been hitting the gym lately. You know it. Been hitting the gym, and I definitely need a deodorant that can keep up with my gains. Because I am, at some points, I'm a stinky mofo. There have been times when I've just been a stinky mofo at the gym, and I'm like, I need a better deodorant. I want to be smelling fresh for the fellas. And look, I know it shouldn't bother me that women's body care products are always much nicer than men's. It shouldn't bother me, but it does. I talk to a therapist about it. But that's why I've been like, I got to find something that makes me feel like a woman, but it's made for a man. And that's why I got officially hooked on Jack Black. I've been waiting for a brand to come up with every product I use in just one scent. I hate having to mix and match different scents for my cleaner, for my antiperspirant. It's like, why can't all of it just be the same? I just want to have one look, one smell. I want things to be easy. I really do. And Jack Black does that. This podcast is sponsored by Jack Black. Jack Black just came out with 4 new scents of their #1 deodorant, Pit Boss. Their deodorant is the best at controlling odor and wetness. You don't want to be wet. I mean, you do want to be wet. It depends what kind of mood you're in. Actually, you know what? Being wet is not the worst, but not in your armpits. No matter what I'm doing, and now I feel cleaner. The antiperspirant it's got to have it in my favorite scent, which is a total game changer. You want to, because sometimes I don't like these scentless deodorants. Jack Black's got a nice, unique scent that I love. Jack Black's original Pit Boss deodorant is a top seller, and you can get the same reliable odor and wetness protection in 4 new masculine scents. I love it. We got Big Sur, which offers a refreshing aroma that mixes marine. It's like a marine smell and amber. Then we got Blue Midnight, features adventurous notes of black pepper and lavender. Ooh, hungry. Then we got Jack Zen, which presents a grounding blend of bamboo and violet. My daughter's name's Violet. And Black Reserve, which is an elite woody formula with a kind of notes of cardamom and cedar wood. Nice, kind of smell like a fire. So I like this. I like Jack Black, the Pit Boss. They got the body care routine. It's all good. It was founded over 20 years ago with the goal of offering men's body care products that were just as effective as women's body care products. Their commitment to superior skincare has made Jack Black, according to Circana, the #1 men's body care brand by total dollar sales. So right now we want to give you guys a great discount. If you want simple, effective products that do what they say they're going to do, you need Jack Black. Head to getjackblack.com/chaos and use the code chaos for 10% off your order and free shipping. Once again, that's getjackblack.com/chaos for 10% off your order plus free shipping. And make sure you use my promo code chaos so they know I sent you, baby. Guys, did you know there's a nutrition plan that doesn't just help you lose weight, but it actually has been shown to lower your biological age score? It's called Prolon by L Nutra. And here's the craziest part. It's a fast that includes food. Boom! Full disclosure, I've always been afraid of any diet that includes fasting because the thought of not eating or extended periods sounds pretty tough. Even though, you know me, I'm Chrissy intermittent fasting and I have fasted, it's always kind of scary. It's been a thing for years where I'm like, man, how am I going to keep this up? And even with the intermittent fasting, I've went on, back off, but with Prolon, L-Nutra, it's a fast with the food. So I am fasting, but I'm also getting food. So it's like this psychological thing where I'm losing weight and staying in shape, but I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. And it just made me rethink everything, and it really is a game changer. Prolon is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. Researched and developed for decades at the University of Southern California Longevity Institute. Shout out Southern California Longevity Institute. We're rooting for you. And backed by leading U.S. medical centers, Prolon helps promote healthy blood sugar, support cardiovascular health, and reduce abdominal fat. You don't want that. You don't want, even though I know winter's coming up, you don't want a fat belly. That's the worst. I feel like I don't have a fat belly. I do have kind of a fat belly, but I have a really big overstretched belly button. And Prolon's helping a lot with that. All of this starts with the Prolon's 5-day program. Snacks, soups, and beverages, all designed to keep your body in a fasting state. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced. How are people going to get the discount? Here we go. Prolon, that's what I'm looking for from you guys. I want to make sure that you guys hear these products, use these products, but I want to make sure you're saving money, okay? I want you to save money, and Prolon does too. Right now, Prolon is offering Chrissy Chaos listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program. Go to prolonlife.com/chaos. That's PROLONLIFE.com/chaos for this special offer. That's prolonlife.com/chaos. Get 15% off. Fasting with food. How could you go wrong?
You know, okay, so this is one of the only things I remember from, I had this one teacher in high school who I really liked. She was called Tammy. She like smoked cigarettes with us. And she was the only one that didn't us. But she probably would have, but she did smoke with us. All my teachers in high school were so horrific. But
it was great.
She
but it made you who you are.
But I remember what she said. I know, I was molested right into this job. But she I was take your teacher to court, girl. But so Tammy was she said to me, we were looking at like our old statues and stuff, old like Statue of David or whatever, and she was like, you know, back in the day, the emphasis used to be on the balls. Like you wanted to have a small penis and big balls. That's why I'm like all of the thing, and I'm like, that's so funny. Like how many guys would be like not subscribed to OnlyFans and
right, because you're saying because sexuality, it all like I think what culture was it? There was a culture that the Amish, they're attracted to women's elbows. They're
Amish are?
Amish, they don't care about.
Are you sure it's Amish?
They don't care about Dr. Drew Pinsky. They don't care about boobs or butts or anything like that. They look at elbows. That's a big thing for them. That's what turns them on.
I got a huge scar on my elbow as a kid. I would be done in the Amish community.
Dude, the Amish community would be so soft.
I'd be a virgin. I'd be a virgin. I'd be like, do you like when I turn this butter? I'd have like, something. I'd always have to have something covering my one elbow.
Just gross.
They're like, oh, it's disgusting pig. But Dr. Drew, so his wife.
Tell me.
Is really into psychics, which by the way, I'm so creeped out by psychics.
Me too.
When I see a psychic, I need like 3 weeks of like decompressing, and I have to do like Andrew Huberman routines where I'm like, I wait 90 minutes before I drink coffee and I just blink at the sun all morning.
Win Hoff, you're in an ice bucket.
I'm in an ice bucket. I'm like, I have to do to reset everything. So she's like had a friend who died, so she texts me and she always screen grabs like articles about how Ozempic's going to kill us all, but it's always from Breitbart or something. Like you can always see like the ads above it are always like Fox News stuff where you're like, I don't know if this is the correct place to be getting this, you know? And so she would send me these things, and then she's like, you know, I had this friend that passed away, and he keeps coming to me as a ghost and telling me that you need to get off Ozempic. And she honestly like bullied me into getting off Ozempic. Like I think it's very sweet when people care about you and send you articles and stuff. Right. But it got to the point where it was so annoying that I just got off Ozempic. Because Dr. Drew Pinsky's wife said that a ghost told her. She kept saying that her friend was haunting her. Right. And telling her, and it was like specifically Annie. She's like, I died I came back to life to tell Annie to get off Ozempic. And I'm like, and she's like, I just worry about you, and I'm like, you know, okay, yeah, I'll just get off it. And you get like, I talk about it openly, so then like fans are sending me all these. It's like you just get annoyed with people talking to you about it. Yes, because I think so. I also think too now people are ashamed to say that they're on it. Like, well, that's why I told everyone I was on it from the beginning, because I was like, oh, I like to, you know, show my dents, but opposite of some comics. But scarred elbows. I like to show my scarred elbows. I don't care if you Amish people don't want to churn my butter. Yeah, I'm sorry, all the Amish guys watching my pod, just stop jerking off. Do you think that's what they do when they go in, they churn it? Yeah, 100%. I think they all have gotta have full bushes too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, can you imagine? Oof. They're wax. There's no one in the Amish pussy. I'm like eating out an Amish woman. I have corn. It's corn. She's corn in her pussy. They have like a middle part like Robbie Hoffman. 100%. Yeah. Robbie's like Amish hair. Yeah, just comes out. I used to go to the Amish country when I was a kid. My mom would take us there, and my uncle once took a picture of an Amish person, like just like on the side of the road, and they like sprinted over to him and were like, "You need to give us the camera," because Amish believe that the camera steals their
your soul. So they dumped out.
Was that right before that Amish shooting happened?
Probably. Yeah,
Remember that
seriously.
schoolhouse?
I don't know. But they
Your uncle fucking killed me.
they took out all the film from his camera and put it in their pocket and gave him back his camera, and then they gave him like a blueberry pie for like, we're sorry. A homemade Amish blueberry pie.
I've eaten a lot of Amish food.
Me too. Well, you're from Philly.
Yeah, I'm from Philly, so we did a lot of Amish country. But I was brought up Quaker, so everyone always thought I was Amish.
You were a Quaker, you said? Whoa. Peace. It's all about peace.
Yeah.
You are a peaceful person.
I am secretly peaceful.
You come off like people like would be like, oh, you could have like bitch energy, but you don't actually.
I think I just slightly Asperger's face. And sometimes I don't suffer fools. I mean, that's true. Sometimes I'm like,
you've never.
I like to like grow stuff with people. So sometimes people,
Right.
when they come on and they immediately want stuff from you, I need them to like make me laugh a bunch before they start getting that stuff.
And anytime I hear like someone like I know as well as you, anytime I'm like, well, Annie's never been like that with me, and I'm just like, sometimes after a while what I'm starting to realize is a lot of times people who say something, this person's annoying or that person's a bitch or whatever, it's always them.
Right.
It's never the person. Like when someone's like, oh, I met so-and-so, the celebrity, and they were such a dick. I'm like, no, you suck.
Yeah, but also like what were you bringing to them?
Yes, you
like
suck.
what were you offering them in that conversation other than taking them from whatever they were doing?
Yeah.
I read a book, so I like have to talk about it nonstop, but
Please.
It's been 20 years and I read a book, but I read The Alchemist. Have you read it?
Sure. With Malcolm Gladwell.
No.
Oh, sorry.
But it sounds like a Malcolm Gladwell book.
Yeah.
No, it's a guy with a Paolo name.
That's the.
He's
Oh,
like
I'm
Brazilian.
sorry.
But there's
What's the premise of it, though? I've heard of it.
It's about like a young sheep herder who is like learning to follow his destiny basically through.
That looks
I
like
was
you
close.
in New Mexico.
That's me in Santa Fe looking for my Laotian. He wasn't born yet though. But there's a quote in the beginning about Narcissus, and it's all about like how Narcissus was looking into the water to see his own reflection, and he fell in and he died, and then the water was crying, and they asked the water like, are you crying because you missed how beautiful the boy was? And they're like, we didn't even notice the boy was beautiful. We were looking into his eyes and his reflection and seeing how beautiful we were.
Right.
And that's why there's like salt in the ocean.
Interesting.
Apparently. But it's like you're always looking at other people to see like what how you look for. Like there's like, I used to have a boyfriend in college who I idolized. I was like, he was so amazing. It was just because he like would tell me I was a good artist and stuff.
Right. It was Scott Peterson.
Oh my God. And we did pick out our baby names and we did pick Connor. It was unfortunate. I watched the Lacey Peterson thing again. It's like, why did you do it again?
Yeah.
Why are we digging this poor bitch up?
I know.
Scott Peterson is like, still hot, by the way.
I know. It's
gorgeous.
it's so funny because when I was watching the documentary, I swear to God in my head, I was like, I feel like this is the kind of guy Annie would date.
I used to do a joke about this because I was at a wedding once in New Mexico, and there was a guy that looked like Scott Peterson. I thought he'd be flattered when I told him. I was like, you look so much like Scott Peterson. And he got pissed, and I was like, you're looking more like him. Getting Scotter.
So I watched I think it was the Netflix one. I watched the Netflix one about the murder of Lacey Peterson, and I'm like, he 100% did it. Like there was no way he didn't do it. And then I watched the one on, I think it was Peacock or Hulu. I think it was Peacock. I watched that one, and then I'm like, now I kind of think he didn't do it.
That's the one with cock, and it always defends the men. Peacock always.
Oh, that's right. Yes, true.
No, he definitely did it because Amber Fry. He wouldn't have had the girlfriend where he said he didn't. Amber Fry, by the way, of Fresno. Whenever I hear Fresno, since Lacey Peterson's body was found.
Right.
Every time I hear Fresno, I'm like, Amber Fry, my girl. Since I was like a child, basically.
Yeah.
But Amber Fry, the girlfriend, is such a fucking badass. She was so cool.
She literally.
And she's kind of like.
Yeah. She came with that energy. She came with that energy where I was like, my heart started beating like I was in trouble. I was like, that is the wrong bitch to fuck with.
No, and she was immediate. It wasn't like. She wasn't like, well, maybe he didn't do it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've had guys be horrific, and it's taken me 10 years to be like, maybe they weren't the right guy for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
She was just like, the minute that something possibly could have happened, she was like, he's disgusting. We're going to get him.
Yeah.
And she was so good. And the cops, they had her wear a wire, but they didn't even like guide her on what to do. And she just nailed it.
She just knew. I know, and then I like her interviews, like in present day, she says like big fake boobs now. She's kind of like smoking hot. I was like, should I DM her?
Yeah, yes.
Should I just get involved? Right now?
I'd love to have you on the show.
But it is. But
add some chaos to Chrissy.
Ooh, one of the products that I love talking about so much on this show is KiWiCo. I'm Chrissy KiWiCo. If you have children, you must get KiWiCo. It is awesome. One of the biggest things as parents is what we're always looking for is how do we get our kids off these devices? How do we get them detached from this technology? KiWiCo has the answer. KiWiCo helps kids engage on a journey of seriously fun learning. I mean, every month they send you a new crate of different things that you can do. My kids have made pinball machines. They've made volcanoes. They've made headphones. And it's these things that we all follow the instructions. They're so easy to follow along. I'm learning. The kids are learning. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's feeling empowered. Everyone's feeling confident. And then the kids actually play with the things that they make. So KiWiCo is awesome. Your child can discover cool science and art concepts with fun, hands-on projects delivered monthly. The projects are fun. They really, really are a lot of fun. It's fun for me, too, to like not know what I'm doing and have my 9-year-old be like 20 times better at building something than I am. So it's good for me. Like I love it, but then I also usually have to call my therapist and I'm like, I'm useless. But right now, it can be hard to keep children engaged just in the kind of current world we live in. And, challenged and, like I said, off their screens. But KiWiCo does the legwork for you so you can spend quality time tackling projects together. There's no commitment, so you can pause it or cancel it anytime because this company is genuinely about, we just want to do things that are good for the kids. So I can attest to that. I've been using them for 2 years. My kids love it. I love it. And right now, you can also be a part of it and get a nice discount for being a loyal listener to this show, which we appreciate very much. You can get up to 50% off your first crate at KiWiCo.com if you put in that promo code chaos. So you just got to go to KiWiCo.com, put in that promo code chaos, 50% off your first crate. Guys, go do it. I promise you, if you have kids, you're going to love it. Or if you're a kid at heart and you just want to build stuff, go to KiWiCo. Put in that promo code Chrissy, 50% off the first crate line. It really is awesome. All right, listen to me, okay? GameTime is the only app you need to buy tickets to your favorite live events, sporting matches, anything that has live performing. GameTime is selling tickets on it, and it is the best, okay? GameTime Picks. It makes it easier to save money on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else. They got the all-in pricing. You toggle this feature, and it shows the total up front with no surprises at checkout. That's what I really like about GameTime. A lot of times you'll buy a ticket on these other platforms, and then it's $25 more than the ticket you saw. Well, with GameTime, they take all that away. What you see, that price you see, that's the price that's going to get hit on your credit card. They also have the lowest price guarantee, or GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Think about that. You don't have to worry at all. They will make sure you get the lowest price, or they'll credit you 110% of the difference. GameTime ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policies in the ticketing industry. You thought I was flexible? GameTime ticket coverage is flexible. So all you got to do right now for being a loyal listener to this show, thank you, is download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code Chrissy for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHRISSY for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. But these documentaries, like, it is just how it's positioned. Because, I mean, if you watch the Peacock one, all the questions that I thought Netflix answered, I was like, oh, well, now Peacock is making me question them. Like, there's one where they said that Lacey Peterson, if she was seen, even the prosecution admitted, if she was seen in the neighborhood after 10 a.m. on the day she was supposedly murdered, that there's no way that Scott could have done it because he was known to be like 2 hours away, and she was seen at like 10:15 walking her dog or something like that. And so I'm like, okay, so then that is like a crucial thing. But the prosecution and defense said on one of the documentaries, like, it was Amber Fry though, that her testimony sealed it. Like the
Because
jury.
he said he had a wife that passed away
Right.
3 weeks before he had a wife that passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Can't
is
do that.
kind of bad.
And then the other part.
And then bought a boat and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Like he's such like a weird braggy guy.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have like been like, everybody, I got a boat.
And then he goes, and then they're driving. They picked him up in San Diego, the police, and they're driving back the 3 hours to.
When he looked like Sugar Ray, he like dyed his hair blonde.
Yeah, he's like he dyed his hair blonde. He
He's
had
like, I just want to fly.
He had a sister. His sister-in-law lived in San Diego. He dyed his hair blonde. Had like
tired of his
$25,000 in
sister-in-law.
cash, and like looked like a different person. He's like, I'm just hanging out with my family.
We're just golfing.
Yeah, they're like, you're 10 minutes from Mexico.
By
He's
the way,
like,
how hideous is his family? He was like the only hot one.
I know.
And you could tell that he was the golden boy to
yeah.
all of them. They're like, well, he's our hot
They
sibling.
loved him. But they would go there. The police, had finally found, Lacey Peterson's body, whatever. And they tell Scott, they like have him handcuffed in the back of the car and they're driving. And they go, we just found, the body. It's been confirmed that it is Lacey and your unborn son.
He's like, we're going to White Castle?
Kind of, I know that's what he said. He
Yeah.
like puts his head down. It's like a minute. And then he goes, are we going to go to In-N-Out Burger? And the police were like, excuse me? He was like, you said that we were going to get food. And I'm just like, I'm pretty hungry. And they were like, okay. And then, so the police, when they were interviewed, they were like, what guy would fucking say that?
Unless you're in like full shock.
Right.
But
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you think he'll ever get out? No, right?
no, I think he's not getting the death penalty anymore.
No, but he supposedly gets a ton of ass in jail. He gets like conjugal visits, and these women like write him letters, and like he fucks like every weekend, allegedly. That's what the
You
Reddit
look
said.
up to him?
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
Dude, is Reddit not like the greatest place on earth?
it's amazing.
You just have to not look at yourself and you're the best.
Oh yeah,
But I actually think Redditors are sweet too because they're kind of talking shit behind your back. Like,
yeah,
they're not. It's not for you to
yeah,
see.
yeah,
It's very nice. They're
yeah.
like, let's just get over here and talk shit on this person.
yeah. I think
Let's not tag them. Like,
No.
let's just like be over here having our own fun.
that's the thing. They don't actually. They're trying to not hurt you.
Yeah.
But if you look for it,
It's you're cutting and it's your fault.
It's bad, dude.
I made a real decision with myself and I just completely stopped and it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody wrote on about me once on Reddit, like just out of nowhere. They said, "Hey, just saw Chris Distefano at whatever comedy club." They're like, "I hate him with a passion, and I'm looking for ways to actively ruin
you
his
read
life."
that? I didn't want you to see that.
Yeah, they're just, and it was nothing to do. They just were like, "I hated his comedy so much, and I want to actually try to ruin his life." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Come, I guess.
Yeah, all right, great. Wait, why? Because everyone's been saying that LA is like dead, and it's like, okay, I get it. But I've been here for 2 days.
And it's not dead and it's fun.
It's kind of fun. I'm having like a good time here.
Yeah.
But why is everyone saying it's dead then?
What day of the week is it?
Wednesday.
It's like you get like a slow Tuesday and someone's like, it's dead.
You'll
know what I
never
mean?
move back east.
Anything could happen in my life. I'm very open to everything. I'm very happy here. I live
Yeah.
by the beach and
Yeah.
every time I fly in, I'm like happy to be back.
You don't miss New York.
I don't remember. I have like a blackout
I remember.
vibe with New York.
Yeah.
No, I really, I get a lot of anxiety leading up to going back to New York because I don't remember the rhythm. I don't remember my pacing, even though I loved living in New York. I used to walk down the streets like hugging the street, like a crazy person.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm alive, you
Yeah.
know, singing like fucking Frank Sinatra and shit. But I know that I love it. I just don't remember what I loved about it. And I think now that I'm like your money in LA you can live a real nice.
Yeah, New York.
In New York, you have to like have had like a prince in your family.
It's so crazy. I mean, I was doing well, and I'm just like, I cannot provide for my family the way that they fucking want to. Like, I cannot give Jazz the house, the Gucci. I can't keep up with the shit.
Yes, it's very crazy.
My
there.
daughters, like, they want so much shit. It's so expensive, and I'm like, I can't add another show to Houston Improv. I can't do it. I'm not selling. I had to cancel my shows in Oxnard because I'm just not selling. Why is Oxnard? I couldn't sell a ticket
Mexican.
there. Oh, okay. But I thought they liked
so
me because I'm
fun.
Trump-y looking.
I know they like us.
Because I'm Trump. I have a Trump face,
You got scared all of a sudden?
Yeah, I was like, ugh.
I was getting a pedicure and my spray tan was crusting off.
By
and
your boyfriend's mother?
Yes, she came into town. She flies in for it.
Yes.
Only family touches my feet. But so this woman's like giving, and my spray tan's like crusting off, and Trump was on the thing, and I was like, I literally look like my foot looks like him. It was like the exact same amount of spray tan.
Yeah, he
needs a better spray, but I think he likes that you can't, that it's not like fully on the. I don't know what it is, but it's as a spray tan girl, like he's like always like 7 days into a spray tan.
Well, he's like, there's a local pizzeria in the neighborhood I live in that Trump would always go in, and they
Is
said
that why you
like,
live there?
yeah, exactly.
Do you smell the seat when you go in? Like,
well, they said he would like tip, even like, obviously way before he was president, he would just like go in there and get like a pie, or like his people would get like a pie from him, and then he would give the workers like $1,000 cash and like tips. Like when people like in New York,
gonna get flagged for election propaganda.
That's I know, but he supposedly
you can't even say his name.
You really can't. Yeah, I guess bleep it out. Donnie T.
We're so weak.
Yeah, I know.
We're slaves to the algorithm.
I know. I have to be because I got to fucking pay this rent in New York.
I know.
But everybody who knows him says he's like the most fun guy to be around, which I guess I believe.
I don't think anyone didn't think he was like fun.
Yeah.
They just got worried when he became like. We all watched The Apprentice. We're like, the show rules.
Yeah.
We weren't like a president. We were like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, it's like you don't want like one of your friends to be president. Like you're fun.
Do you want anyone to be president? I don't think I've met anyone more like, I'd like this person to be president.
Why?
I don't want it to be someone that I've met. I don't want it to be.
Could you imagine like going into politics now
and then going
like,
on Theo Von's podcast? It was actually so cute though.
I know.
When Theo dressed up.
Yeah. It was a good pod. I like that he had him and then
Bernie.
It was good. I want to get Hunter Biden on the pod.
Oh,
that's
my
what
God.
I think that's every comic's main goal.
Travel.
Yes,
I
I'll
want
do
Chet
that.
Hanks on mine. He did like Delia's podcast once. I'm like, hello.
Why won't he do yours?
I just don't have access to him.
You don't.
I DM him. I go, get your ass on my podcast. Like I'm like, get your ass on my fucking podcast.
And he won't do it.
He just hasn't. We haven't connected.
Jesus, I'm sure Tim knows him. Doesn't Tim know him? Tim knows everybody. Timmy
Does
D.
Tim know him?
No, for
That'd be
real.
hot.
That'd be fucking.
I heard he's been giving Scott Peterson conjugal visits.
Yeah. I'd love to see. Timmy D and catch a straight guy who gets caught out as gay. Do you want to drink your coffee?
Yeah.
I know you. I feel like I wanted to give you a coffee minute. Look at that Beam. Do you know
what is Beam?
It's like a dream potion. Like it helps you sleep. It's like fentanyl, but in a cup. Wait. So we were talking last night. By the way, when part of that story is the car that Tim has. Beautiful Rolls-Royce, but it doesn't have a third seat in the back, so we had too many people in the car.
Which is actually so funny and snobby
Annie had
for
to
a
sit
rich
on
person to only, like, sorry.
Yeah, 4 seats.
No one sits bitch in this car.
Yeah, and then Annie had to sit on my lap, and I had texted her the address to this podcast for today, and then her phone just kept vibrating because her text vibrated, but she had her phone in her back pocket, so she was just sitting on my lap with her phone in the back pocket.
I was very careful to not arch my back.
Yeah. And I literally thought that she was like silently farting on my leg.
I was like, why is it vibrating on his This is like such a nightmare for me to just like, I'm just like, okay, here we are.
I was just sending Annie texts just to fucking feel the vibrations on my balls. I was like, I sent the address like 100 times.
I was just like, tell Jazzy I'm not arching. But it was... Yeah. Okay, so later, this is embarrassing confession.
Come on.
Later, I go into the bathroom and I have just period blood all over my pants. So
really?
I was like, how funny would it be if I just left like a fucking blood stain
and then
on you?
Going home and trying to explain that it was
like,
and then you get a call and you have to show Jasmine your period.
I'm like, I swear on my life. I pull a tampon out. I'm like, I swear on my life.
Yeah, you have to. Because that was one of those situations where I was like, I'm going to get in trouble for this. I just felt like I was in trouble.
No, I know. And that's, obviously we'll talk about it on camera because if you don't talk about it on camera, then it is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
No, but I was like, I didn't want to do it because I was like, I feel like I have such a good relationship with Jazzy.
Yes. You do. She loves you.
I love Jazzy. Jazzy, you can trust me.
You really can. She does.
You can trust me. We live together a whole bunch of things.
We did. I know. We did. I did. And I wasn't the roommate that would sneak in at night and smell your underwear.
Which Racine sometimes like, well, because that like clip will pop up and Racine's like, she's been telling that joke for years. And I'm like, yeah, Racine, and it still happened.
You're still a psycho. I can't believe he has a kid.
Oh, you know what it is? It's from when I told it that it was him on your podcast. Oh, yeah. That was fun. Yeah. You got nervous? Yeah. You're like, Jazzy's gonna fucking do this to me.
I know. She's here. I don't know. I've been going through, for me, I've been like having like this this thing where I'm like, I guess because Delilah's getting my oldest one is like 9 now, so now she has this thing where she's like, hey, every time I leave, she's like, yeah, but what's it going to cost to leave, Dad?
Oh.
That's what she says, like deep question. She's like, you're like, next week I have to go to Austin for a week, and she's like, a week? What's that really going to cost, Dad? I'm like, well, I'm doing Kill Tony, and she's like, a week? That's a lot.
She's like, is Casey Rocket gonna be there?
Yeah.
Is the crab walk gonna be there?
Yeah, she's like, is Ari Mattis the Estonian
Is
gonna
she
be
giving you? Is she giving you like David Lucas Burns? Like, you're looking ass, having ass booty hole.
Yeah. Yo, she fucking. I mean, she because of the YouTube algorithm. We let her watch YouTube. She's seen multiple clips of Kill Tony. Like she actually does know who they are. She doesn't get the comedy, but she knows their faces.
Right. I hope she doesn't get
thing
the comedy.
Huh?
I hope she doesn't get the comedy.
I mean, I would actually want
the
her.
rape your daughter comedy. I don't want to I don't want to pigeonhole Kill Tony jokes, but
Yeah, that's what
the
it is.
guests come on with a lot of rape your daughter jokes.
Rape your daughter.
When
know.
I did it, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
you guys, we gotta get some
Fucking crazy
child
shit.
services over here.
I know. So
Kill
now,
Tony's so crazy.
so
I
now
can't
it's like
believe
when I go away. Now it's like my daughter's old enough where she'll like text me like from Jazz's phone and be like, "What are you doing right now?" And I'm like, I'm about to go on stage or whatever it is. And she's like, the other day she texted me, I was gone for like 3 days. And I was like, oh, I'm doing these shows, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh, great, Daddy. Like, love you so much. And then she like, ... She wrote, hope it was all worth it. I was like, like, what? Yeah.
It's one thing getting it from your partner. From
my 9-year-old daughter is just smashing
half your
me.
DNA is just attacking you.
Yeah, I'm like, what did I do? And I was like, I'm just like making money like for you, and like so you can have what you want.
Well, okay, so they say that you like by like 7 and before you're like a sponge and you're just absorbing.
Yeah.
So whatever she's gonna be like with money when she's older
Yeah.
is like what you basically taught her to be like.
Right.
So her showing signs of money anxiety is not good.
It's not good.
She's gonna be like.
Yeah. She got in trouble the other day. School started a couple of weeks ago because I've been trying to teach her like, whatever. Like she has a little job on Saturday. She like cleans the gym that her mom works at. So they'll let her like clean the equipment or whatever, and they'll give her.
Illegal.
I know, right? Yeah,
it's fully illegal.
They're treating her like
That's
a migrant.
why she's worried.
Yeah,
she's like, I'm only getting paid $25 a week, Dad.
Yeah. So she's like 10. She gets 10.
She's like, how many ice cream cones did you get for this trip, Dad?
Yeah.
In Austin.
$10 cash she gets, and then what she does is she keeps it like in a little box. And I told her, by Christmas, like whatever you save by Christmas, whatever that number is, I'm going to double it. I'm going to match it for you, and then I'm going to put it in.
And that's why you have to go to, she's really like, she's doing so much that you have to go to Austin for a week.
For real. I'm like, holy shit, how much? This girl's like a workaholic. And so
you're like, you're actually driving me away.
Yeah,
I have to leave because of
you take everything I say so seriously, and I'm not going to lie to you. But so I was like, oh, I'm going to double it, and I'm going to put it in a savings account. And I'm trying to teach her about like interest and all that, because nobody taught me money ever.
Nobody taught me.
So I'm like,
to
at least
save a
like
goddamn penny.
I have a credit card open in her name that she doesn't have access to. Well, no, I'm using it just. But,
she's already gone bankrupt twice. She's 9 years old.
It's to hide it. That's where I put all my OnlyFans accounts. I have it on my daughter's credit card.
My dead grandmother. I got it. She's gonna be voting this election.
Yeah. Do the right thing this November. And so the other day she like got into like an argument with like one of her classmates or whatever, and the school called her
clients.
Yes, one of her clients, and she said like they were like on the playground and like somehow like money came up or whatever, and like they were like, oh, that she said to like one kid, she was like, I bet your dad doesn't even double your money so you can get interest. And the kid was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know like what that means. And then she goes, I'm tired of being around these retards. And I was like, wait, what? And then, so they were like, we understand, like, she may have heard that word, like, in maybe your husband's comedy and all that, but we just want to, like,
blame Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Because then the teacher will be like, oh my God, do you know him?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh shit, but there's a part of me that's like, wants to reprimand her, like, you can't say that word. I get that. But there's other part of me that's like, she heard it on the internet.
Right.
She's actually like, I don't know, she's like defending herself in her position. And I don't know. I don't want to like limit. I don't want
her to hang out with poor people is really what I'm saying.
What it is. I don't want to discipline her and then like, because I feel like sometimes like the hard part about having a rambunctious child is like, I want her to like play by the rules and be a good kid.
You want
and
to basically say, don't get caught doing the bad thing.
Yes.
Like it's
like your
fine
dad.
to say a bad word.
Yeah.
Just don't say it in a
like
the wrong way.
I don't want to yell at her and have this talk. Like I kind of want to be like, I love that you're a fucking badass and these kids are scared
she's
of you.
perfect. Your kid. I mean, I haven't seen her in years, but
I
love her.
I love her.
She's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
She's so cool. She's so strong.
Like 2 weeks ago, we were in the mall and this like really pretty like girl came up to me and just like wanted like a quick picture. It was like, you know, nice compliment, whatever. And like I did it, like no problem, whatever. And then like literally as soon as like we started walking, we took like 2 steps and Delilah was like, you think I'm going to tell mom about that? And I was like, what do you mean there's nothing to tell? She goes, do you think I'm going to tell mom that you took a picture with a pretty girl? And I was like, I think you can if you want to. She goes, you know you don't want me to tell mom that you just took a picture with that girl. And I was like, yeah, I guess I don't. I was like, but I didn't do anything wrong. She goes, I know you didn't do anything wrong, but you know I can or can't tell mom. And I was like,
she's like, so are we doubling or tripling this money?
That's what she said. She wanted like these like platform, like New Balance, like those kind of.
Yeah.
She goes, can we go to Kids Foot Locker and get those purple?
I'm like so flattered. I have the same shoes as a Gen Alpha.
yes, as a 9-year-old. So I like bought her these sneakers and I was kind of like, there's a part of me that's like, shit, like that's manipulative. But then there's another part of me like, yo, this girl is already like adjusting to this world, like knowing exactly what power she holds.
Right. She needs to hustle for money because she's worried about her dad being able to provide for her.
Yeah, because she's kind of already, she knows. She's like, you're doing well now. She's like, but we can all feel like you're going to blow it. Like we can kind of just feel like we already
like Dad, you never got on SNL.
I never even got an audition. Like we already lost our beautiful house on Staten Island. Like that lasted 2 years.
I know. I saw this on Rogan.
Yes. So I sold it. So that's been a big problem for us is I really.
How are you feeling with are you feeling better?
Yeah, I feel like I let them down because we moved from Staten Island. So I was like, it's isolating, it's this, it's that. And then when we moved, I was like, I was the adult. Like my kids didn't feel that way. My kids were like, we all have humongous bedrooms, a fucking in-ground pool, a park, like just drive a little.
In-ground is very important.
Like we had like a sick house and it was like, who cares where it is? Like the kids loved it there and I took it from them. So I feel like very, very guilty about that. And now we're living in like a rental home that's nice, but nowhere near as nice as what Staten Island was.
Do you think that they've adjusted and they forgive you and are...
My daughter, my 9-year-old does. My 3-year-old doesn't know any difference. And my 14-year-old, he's just like, whatever. He's just like, he's got a girlfriend. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's got a girlfriend? Yeah, he's got a sword. Like he's got like
it's fun.
He's got a crazy sword. He doesn't give a shit. He like stabs the wall with his sword. He's like put the sword through like...
It's a rental. You're like, oh my God.
I know. I'm like, dude, come on.
What the fuck?
And so, but my daughter, I mean, she was, I definitely think, upset with me. Well, not upset with me. She goes, I remember, she was like, because the neighborhood we live in now is a great neighborhood. It's like you can walk to everything, get to the city in 15 minutes. But to a child, she's just the house. She's like, and she actually, her and her brother, like, a few months ago, they like came to, I was just like watching TV and it was just me with them. And they came up to me and they were like, you know, like very carefully. And they were like, you know, we just want to know, did you lose your job? And is that why we're living here now? And I was like, no, we're in
I lost my mind.
Yes, that's what it is. I was like,
I turned 40.
That's what it is.
I'm losing.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to make mistakes and do things and it's fine.
That's what I'll say is I think that these mistakes that I've made have been so like big in my mind and I've been like every night for like a year like waking up being like what the fuck did I do?
Sucks.
But I feel like I made these mistakes because my kids will never make this financial mistake. I mean, they might, but they're going to at least have, like, there was nobody around me in my family to stop me because nobody knew anything. Nobody's ever even owned a home.
If only you'd taken that picture with that girl before you made that decision.
Shit. I know.
She could have been like, do you want me to tell mom or not? We're staying with the pool.
Yeah, I know. And so there's a part of me that's like, oh, do we just go back and I get them that house and that life and like get them back in? But now I'm like, well, I've changed their schools twice.
I think you have to like just trust. There's a reason you did it, and it's like it'll end up working out.
It'll work out somehow. And
you
I'm
have
like,
to trust it.
I'll get them the house. Like for me, it's like just keep working hard. I'll find their house for them.
Right.
You know, I'll be living in a Ramada, but I'll find whatever. It's about them.
Listen,
I wouldn't even.
This lifestyle is crazy. You're like, are you gonna have kids? I'm like, oh, Yeah.
It's one of those
Are
things
you
where
gonna
like,
give birth at a fucking Holiday Inn?
it's funny, like this real estate agent, like this like older lady. She was like she's like a very cool lady, like in her 60s, kind of seen it all. Was smoking
Right.
cigarettes in the houses she's showing, like illegal shit you can't even do. And so she showed us 3 houses where each one of the houses had a second apartment, like a basement apartment or an apartment next door to rent out. But I was like, I think she's showing because she's like, oh, this guy's gonna get thrown out,
Yeah,
so he's gonna live in that apartment.
We want him to be near the.
Yeah, I think she was doing that, and then by the third one, Jasmine was like, I think that's what she's doing, right? I was like, she's claiming that it's for a second family income, but she knows that it's like we would be like fighting in the open house, and she was like, I got to get this guy close. This guy wants to be close to his kids. I get it. So like, let me just show them 2 families.
Oh my God! Bring one girl back to that place.
Could you fucking imagine?
Bring one girl back to your 1 bedroom.
Oh, she would
Oh,
lose.
your little studio apartment inside your family's
All
home.
of a sudden, I see my stepson's sword coming through the walls. Fucking Jasmine. Just coming.
All of a sudden, there's an ingrown pool. She's just dug a hole.
Oh,
it's a grave, but
yeah. She's yeah. So, but I'm trying to. I it's weird because you ever have this thing where like
I was gonna call you. I was like worried about you.
Well, people. I appreciate that. Thanks for not calling. People.
You're busy.
No, you should have called. You can always call. I think like it's this weird thing too, where people like a lot. I've heard a lot. Like for
It is so funny to tell someone you were gonna call.
Yeah, and then you're like,
I was worried.
damn. Where like people are like, oh, you know,
I was gonna call, and then I got the hiccups. You know.
have you ever had people say like, oh, congrats on everything that's going on. I see you're killing it, blah, blah, blah. But inside you're like, I couldn't be a bigger loser and feel like a bigger failure as a human being.
When people, I love that I have the appearance of doing well all the time.
Right.
I just go like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. So you think, so you like that perception of it?
I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't, like, I used to like correct people. And then I went, let's let it ride.
Right. Yeah, just whatever you
Because
think.
everything, I do believe things are always going to get better and like are,
Yeah.
you know, if I can keep myself like in the right energy.
Yeah, literally.
So I'm just like, oh, maybe they just see like what's coming. Or
Well, like
something.
yesterday, like you know, like when we hugged, you were like, oh, you're dressed, you look good. Like in my, like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I think I look horrible. So like you literally said that to
You're
me.
such a girl. I think
I know.
that's why we get along.
I know. I am a little girl.
Yeah, you are.
I'm definitely gay.
You're so girly.
And so
you're so like hyper, like
aware.
sexual though.
Yeah, Mateo tells me all the time. He's like, Chris, I would love it if you were, but you're not.
I think you could be gay, like, because you just want to get your dick
Sucked. I'm just
Yeah.
horny. But
have you ever gotten a blowjob from a guy?
No.
You're not gay. Like
No,
you would have
and
had it. You're like
that's-
horny enough that you would have done it.
Mateo was like, dude, I'm telling you, he's like, I've crunched every number. You're not gay.
Yeah.
And so
Maybe you just like got girls from acting gay.
maybe that's what it is. It's all
You
yeah.
gay baited,
I did gay bait.
but you don't seem gay enough for that to work.
No,
I'm
not.
I've had like guy friends who like seem so gay,
Right.
and then when they like start hitting on me, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's such a betrayal. You're like,
Right.
you were straight, but you are straight.
But the straight, because you know what, Mateo had a good point. He was like, and it's things we've known, but like you don't think about all the time. Was like gay, like actual straight guys who are gay, who don't know they're gay. They get very angry at like gay.
Right.
They make hard. He was like, you're like always like embracing the gay community. Like that's why you're straight.
Right. You embrace them like really tight.
Yeah, really, like in a glory hole.
Yeah, you turn them around.
Yeah. But
Prom style, you hold them.
but you were like, oh, like, you know, like, and I was like, I'm not, like, I have like this false sense of self. So like I literally got back to Don's apartment last night at 2 a.m. and I ate 2 pieces of chocolate cake because I was like, Annie's wrong. This is the real me. And I don't say that out loud, but in the front of my head, I was like, Annie said that I was muscular, but she's this is the real me, and I'm just shoving chocolate
Yeah.
cake. So I have these issues.
But then do you like do you punish yourself the other direction where you like don't eat bad the next day or work out a bunch?
I worked out and then I tried to even it out. But you know what I stopped doing? Tell me what you think about this. I stopped going to therapy because I felt like I would be getting better. I would have therapy on Fridays and I would be getting better by like Thursday. But then Friday I have to talk about all these thoughts again. And then thoughts become reality. And I'm like,
I agree.
I could have just actually been out of it. But now that I have a session with you for an hour, you're going to force me to talk about this. And then it's real again.
I know. I mean, I got to the point, the last therapist I had, like when I was living in Santa Fe, I think it was like, I'm mad at my parents again.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mad at my parents anymore. They're like getting old. I want to not be mad at my parents. I prefer to not. I do like hypnotherapy. I do other kinds of stuff.
What's hypnotherapy?
It's like
hypnosis?
No, they don't do that, but it's like you talk about like whatever your problem is or whatever your goal is or whatever you're blocked in, and you kind of get to like whatever the belief is you're telling yourself that's sort of perpetuate, like, so like if you're like, I'm trying to think of like one of the things you said that could be like a problem.
I'm gay. I feel fat. I feel
but
like a loser.
But it would be like, why do you feel like a loser? Like going kind of like investigating like to the bottom of like what you tell yourself all the time, like I'm a loser or I'm not good enough.
Right.
It's like it usually comes back to like self-love.
A,
Like
a lot of it comes from in doing a career in comedy. I was a physical therapist, and my entire family was like, that's not a real career, comedy.
Right.
Like, it's not real. Like, the physical therapist was a real thing. So I think, even though that was back then, and now I've turned into a real career.
It probably happened before you were 7, honestly. It's probably something
Really?
I do before you were 7.
That I don't even
that
remember.
You've been telling yourself the whole time.
Interesting.
And then, so you kind of figure out what that is, and like, so
you
it's
actually
like,
remember memories from when you were before 7 with this therapy?
sometimes, yeah, like sometimes you go
It's
back
just
and
Father
like
Bill's
remember.
like
But
dick
do you remember?
going on. It's just growing. That's what I keep seeing. I'm like this.
You're like, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
But you kind of like, I don't know, you have like core memories that you remember of like bad things happening, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Like, when's the first time you remember feeling like a loser?
The first time feeling like a loser is probably when I was like 12 years old, and not only did I get picked last to play basketball, like
So hacky.
I know. What?
That you got picked last and that's your trauma?
Well, but then the kids, I know I am.
To call your like
Yeah.
like shame hacky is funny too.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
like that's how hacky I am.
But-
But these kids, when we were playing, like they were like, that instead of like playing the basketball game, they were playing the basketball game, but they would like fake like they were going to shoot a shot and then just rifle the ball at my head. So they kept.
It's a big head.
Yeah, it's a
Hard
huge
to
head.
miss.
So they were like, and then I'd like fall on the floor and they made the game instead of scoring baskets. It was like, how many times
So
can we
you're
rifle
like
the ball at
afraid the
Chris's head?
joke's on you and you're missing it.
I think I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. I think that there's always been in my life a lot of, I have a mother who's very anxious and who would always be like, are you sure that that's the right move, Chris?
Right.
Like, really? Comedy? Are you
Right.
honestly sure?
So it's like not trusting yourself.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't trust
Right.
I don't trust in myself.
And then you second guess all the things you do. And then you basically torture yourself because either decision you make, you'll be unhappy.
Anything that I do in my career, anything.
Because the truth is you were unhappy in your house, so you moved and you made a decision and you moved, which is like a good thing, right?
Right.
And your kids being closer to the city is not bad.
No.
It's going to be cool. And when they're older, they're going to really appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope so. But I think for me, anything that I ever do in like my career, I always think it was, I don't want to say easy, but it was like, maybe like for example, like I'm like, I got a chance to do Radio City, right? And great show, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, but I only got to do it and I only was able to sell it out because everybody had money because of the pandemic
Right,
and the
so
surplus.
you're not good enough. So it's like about not being good enough, not trusting yourself.
Not
deserving.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, I got, X, Y, and Z. Like, oh yeah, I wound up becoming like, because of those instances.
But yeah,
It's always like, I played basketball in college, but it was Division III. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's not like everything in my life is that, oh yeah, I was able to sell a lot of tickets but it's like that anybody could do it at that time. It wasn't really, it would have been, I always create something in my mind like, if I could sell out Radio City now when nobody's selling tickets, then that would mean something.
do you think it motivates you to have this sort of anxiety? Do you feel like you have to have it to keep succeeding, to push yourself?
No, and I will say over the last couple of months, my anxiety's been getting very, very, very exhausting. And this whole mindset...
You seem like ready to not
It's
have it.
very exhausting. Where
Yeah.
something internally is like, okay, I'm done being this version. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not enjoying my life even though I'm having success.
Because I have bouts of anxiety too, but I don't have kids. Like I can really imagine.
The kids actually help with it because the kids they'll get you out of it. Like my 3-year-old, like when I'm having an anxiety thing about like not selling tickets or something, my 3-year-old will be like, can you put on the tutu? And you can be, they call me Princess Daddy. Like, can you just be Princess Daddy? Like they don't even know that I'm going through something. They're like, put on the tutu, we're going to play dolls. And then I'll just do that. And then I'm like, and then I'm lost in that. For 30 minutes.
That's good.
And then I'll snap back out of it when Jazz will be like, let me see your fucking phone.
And then you've done something. And there's something on the fucking phone, isn't there?
Yeah, and I'm like, shit, how do I...
Because you want to have problems. Because you don't deserve to
think
just be calm and happy. And
Always. Do you know Tank Sinatra?
You'll get a ball shoved at your head.
Right. Do you know Tank?
I don't know him personally, but yeah,
he's
I know.
great. He's like a gym fitness
Yeah,
influencer,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like a meditating
Yeah.
meathead kind of guy. And he's like, you are, because he went through this. He was like 20 years sober, like a vicious alcoholic,
Yeah.
and he's been 20 years sober, like has this like great outlook on life now. He's like, what's happened is you actually don't even know you don't even know how to be calm. The actual real you're like, you've created like 6 other people in
Yeah.
front of that. So he was like, I don't know how you kill them. He was like, but I'm telling you, the thing that you really need to do is just get spiritual and turn back to religion. That's what
Yeah.
you need to do. You're out of control because you don't have, even if you, I was like, I'm not even saying you have to believe in God, whatever, but you have to have something. You have to have some type of discipline. So it's religion and then comes the spirituality. You
Do
have
you meditate?
I was, and then I stopped.
What were you doing? TM?
TM for
Yeah.
20 minutes, twice
Just start
a day.
doing it again.
Yeah, but I was like, I can't. Did you feel like I
I
can't
did it
possibly?
before I came here.
20 minutes, twice a day. You
You don't have
always
to do
do.
it twice a day. That's such horseshit.
You do it once a day for 20 minutes. Though.
I didn't do it for 2 weeks. I did it today. It's like you just have to be easy on yourself. Like when you miss something,
Right.
and just pick it up again. Because if you're like, oh, I'm an idiot, I didn't do it for 3 weeks, I better just continue to not do it.
Yeah, that's the
You
worst.
just when you remember and you can do it, you do it.
Do you automatically feel better doing it today for
do.
20 minutes?
I do, and I stop 5 minutes early looking at my phone.
Right.
I don't even do it well.
But you're forgiving of yourself. You're not like a
I'm
perfectionist
just
with it.
done. I'm done fucking myself up.
You're done.
I had like TMJ. I mean, I was like, I was in pain all the time. I was in fight or flight. I'm like, I got sweaty armpits. I'm like, I'm always like, I have to stop doing. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I kind of feel.
I just had to make a choice.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm kind of like playing a video game at night again. So I just have to like notice and be like curious when I start doing that and go like, what's going on? Like, okay, so I got off Ozempic, I'm eating really well, started vaping,
Great.
right? So I'm like, oh, I'm vaping, but only through Skankfest. But then I'm like, I'll just vape again a couple more days. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, I do like to have something to quit. I think I'm addicted to
Right.
like being bad and then quitting it and stuff like that.
Like, do you think like I also feel like it's first world problems what we have. Like, do you think they're not talking like this in Gaza? They're having anxiety about like their lives.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
unfortunately our bodies react to
Whatever.
everything the same. Like we treat it as though, because we're fucking idiots, we
Right.
just like treat it. Wait, I do hypnosis, you can't say bad things, but we're very smart people.
Oh yes.
But it's like, you know, we treat every like little social thing like it's life or death. And
But you think that's just being a human being?
yeah, but I think we're smarter now and we like can do work programs that like
Right.
help us through that. You just have to like keep course correcting because you have a habit of like going to anxiety and going to that and you're getting a hit from that. So
It's
you're
like
used to
dopamine
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're used to that and you just have to keep like course correcting. And I think like with people like us, we're afraid maybe we won't be funny or something or like we
Right.
won't even know who we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I'm not funny, I don't feel like I'm like worth being on this earth.
Right.
It's the only thing I ever did that was like,
Right.
I'm like, oh good.
Yeah.
This garners like everything else was like
Right.
horrific. So, but now I'm having to be like, well, maybe I'm just gonna not be funny sometimes and be serious. And
Yeah.
maybe I have some other things to say that
Who
aren't.
cares? Yeah, I think we get so lost too in like what other people think of us. Everyone's telling me too. The big thing now is everyone's got to stop watching porn. Are you still watching porn?
Mm-mm.
You stopped that
I don't watch porn, and I watched like the Lacey Peterson thing, but I haven't been watching.
as
like,
porn.
What's that?
As porn, the Lacey
Listen, I mean, the pants. If I'm watching TV, the pants are off.
Yeah.
Listen, vibes on. If
what it
Todd's
is.
not there, like if I'm at a hotel, I mean, I go into a hotel room, I dump my shit out on the floor, I pee, I don't flush it to assert my dominance over the room. Pants are off. I'm watching Forensic Files.
That's how it is.
Yeah, but
But you stop.
I
You don't watch
stopped
porn.
because I'm not watching porn. I'm basically like,
And what's the thought process behind it though for you? Like purifying your mind or something?
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
with porn, I always had a conflict anyway, because I'm like trying to think about like, are these people fucking into this or not?
Right.
Like you used to watch James Dean porn because he used to like kind of like hold them down till they actually liked it.
Right.
But then it turned out he was like holding them down too long.
Right.
And then I was like, ugh, is he
Damn.
fucking great? Like the porn
Yeah.
stars are getting canceled. It was
Right.
like, ugh.
You can't do it.
But
So I gotta try that.
because I just felt like, yeah, I don't know. It just, and then I would masturbate till everything was like numb, but also hurt. It was just like, it wasn't feeling good anymore. It was just like,
Yeah.
I'm doing everything to excess.
Right.
And so then everything I do, I just quit.
Was that Ozempic that stopped that for you? Like
no,
the beginning of it?
I stopped that kind of naturally.
Before Ozempic?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Ozempic helped with everything.
I'm going to take
basically.
Ozempic to stop watching porn.
It was good, but you lose your muscle.
Yeah, I can't
Your
do
tits
that.
will get soft.
I feel, yeah, I know. I got to figure it out. All right.
There'll be something else.
What are you doing for the? Look at your socks. They look like
I know,
those
I wish
old
they were
lady
longer.
like like Revolutionary War like women that wore like those bonnets. Those are your socks.
These
look
are
like.
socks. They're just. I honestly just
Can you
wanted
zoom in
white
on her
socks.
stupid socks?
I'm covering up my hair, but I wanted white socks. These were kind of dirty. I got these for a photo shoot I was doing where I had like little loafers and like the girl socks.
Right.
But now what I realize is these. No, I know they look like they go with the pile of shoes at the Holocaust Museum. If they did a pile of socks, these would be in them.
These are Annie's wearing Anne Frank socks.
I'm wearing my own Anne Frank. You know,
these are the Anne Frank New Balance. Is it?
Yeah, they named me Anne Frank.
Oh,
They
beautiful.
knew I'd be a writer.
Hi.
But I noticed on stage, girls that wear the frilly socks, their boyfriends have foot fetishes. I always ask, and it's like they're kind of
Always.
like.
Not into
teasing
feet.
them.
I'm not into that at all.
It's like whatever. It's like it's obviously like a switch in the brain because
yeah, I'm not.
if you don't have it, you don't have it.
I'm disgusted kind of with men's feet, women's feet.
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
My fiance wears socks all the time for some reason. I don't know why.
He's a guy that I like. Then
He just always wears socks. So if his feet were in a lineup, I wouldn't be able to pick it out. We've been together 5 years. I wouldn't be able to. Pick
You don't
it
know
out.
what his feet look like.
I would never know whose feet were his.
His Asian webbed feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're weird.
They're
not even bad feet. Like I kind of know what they look like, but
Yeah. Do Asians have webbed feet? Did I make that up? You're Asian, right? Yeah, I'm Korean. Shout out Koreans,
Are
man.
you full Korea?
Full
I like
Korea.
full Korea. I like full Asian. I don't have that many full Asians in my life at this point.
So you have a lot of Koreans out here.
Bobby
Back
Lee
home,
maybe is the only one.
all Chinese.
But
Big dogs, the
all
Chinese.
Lee. I'm so used to being around Asians. I'm so excited to become Asian. I'm so fucking excited.
It's amazing.
Because my homeroom was the L's. So it was Lederman and Lee. So I was just always with all the Asian people.
All the Asians. Yeah, I think it is an exciting thing to be Asian right now.
It's the best. There's so much soup. Like
it's great.
The food I'm getting. My mother-in-law, though, here's the thing about Asian women. They cook you all the food, and then you look over, they're not eating it.
Right.
They're way skinnier than you.
Right.
Then they will call you fat when you're fat.
That's what
I'm
it
like,
is.
But you made me fat. So I've asked my mother-in-law how to say, help me.
Yeah.
In Laos. So I go, soy koi, when she's trying to feed me. Soy koi. I'm on camera. Soy koi. I'm not like you.
Yeah.
I don't live in New Jersey.
Yeah. You're like Joe Coy.
Joe Coy.
The thing of that is the most impressive thing.
That is how I can remember it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell me if even this, like, I don't know if your father, is still with us, Korean, but like nobody has the ability better than an Asian man to hover with their asshole that far off the floor and smoke a cigarette.
Oh,
do they
yeah,
do
the
that?
Asian squad. It's like
It's
their
crazy.
pelvises are very...
Is that-
I have to
that's-
test Todd to see if he can do it. I don't know
See
he
if
can.
Todd, how low, can he get his asshole a centimeter off the floor and smoke a cig? Because that's what they do.
Yeah. I do like when he smokes. I still think smoking's cool on other people.
Yeah, I don't mind this. I haven't had a cigarette in years, but I wouldn't mind having a cigarette a week. Is that really that big of a deal?
I don't think I could. Here's the thing, like even with the vaping, so Todd vapes, so I had completely stopped vaping. I
Right.
wanted to do something bad.
Right.
I called Dr. Drew, probably 3 o'clock in the morning, New York time. Should
Mm-hmm.
not have given me a cell phone number. He picks up, by the way. Dr. Drew will pick up.
Really?
It's crazy. I'm like, you're not supposed to have given me your number.
Yeah.
I call him. He picks up. He's like, hello. And then I go, oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
This isn't important. He goes, no, what is it? What is it? And I go, is vaping bad? And he goes, I'll call you tomorrow. I just call him nonsense. I don't even know if he's a real doctor. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I love Dr. Drew. I don't know if he's a real doctor.
I swear to God, I
He
just
may
found
be a
out.
podiatrist. I don't know what he is. Like,
Yeah.
I have called him. I would treat him like a therapist and stuff. And then I was like, you're not a therapist. He's like,
Yeah,
no.
my thing is like
He diagnoses me with things where I look him up and I'm like, I 100% don't have that.
Yeah, my thing is like if you're a doctor but you're also getting your shit edited by your mom's house, like I don't trust you.
There's like fart noises in your like.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting with him because I'm like, he'll diagnose me with something and I get really excited. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I have.
Right.
And then I'll look it up and it's like, it's always something that's like suicidal, whatever. And I'm like, I have not a suicidal ounce in my body. I feel like people say that before they jump off a bridge.
Right.
But then Bon Jovi saves them. Wait, do you remember this?
No.
2 weeks ago, Bon Jovi saved a woman from jumping off a bridge.
Really?
I read the article. This is one of the only articles I ever read. He was doing it was like this woman, I think she was young. She had short hair. So it was like, I honestly was like, is this a woman?
Right.
Are we able to identify this almost suicide victim? So she's on a bridge in Nashville and they just show a picture of Bon Jovi and you can see the hair. It's like him or Ellen. You're not sure. It's one or the other. And they're like, he saves this person from, and I'm like, I'm trying to like figure out the age range of like how Bon Jovi would be able to save you. And
Yeah.
Like, do you know who Bon Jovi is? Like, you might know his son for marrying like Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
I'm like, people aren't really like famous anymore like that.
No.
And then I realized, I read the article, he was filming a music video for his new song. So maybe he was like the cause of the suicide. Like maybe they were like, the person was like listening to like music video, they're playing the music over and over and they're just like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Yeah. This
and then
boomer.
look,
Wow. John Bon Jovi wasn't. So he was shooting the music video on the bridge.
there's by the way 2 John Bon Jovis there. Like I don't know which one of those people.
Yeah,
is
I have no
him.
idea. And the old
And one's definitely a woman.
Like literally from that angle, I'm like, that's Theo Von. It's that woman was about to jump. It would be funny if like he saved her life or whatever, and then she like they all left, and then she just went back an hour later.
That
and
was so annoying.
Fuck you.
Well, I was like, I kind of want to follow up from her.
Yeah.
I kind of want to follow up because you just see people almost die and then you're like,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah, I don't know. There's you ever watch that documentary, The Bridge? I think it's called.
Oh yeah, the person who like lives by the bridge and goes there and tries to save people.
Well,
talks them out of it.
But then the one that was always crazy is the one guy who survived. There's one guy who survived the Golden Gate.
And he regretted it.
He said he was like, I couldn't have been more suicidal in my life. Like he was like, every minute of every day for 10 years, I wanted to kill myself every day.
This
he's
is
like,
gonna be like bleep bleep.
yeah,
bleep,
yeah.
bleep,
He's like, and then
Can't talk like that.
he's like, and then I know. Well, just put the sponsors in every day. I want to HelloFresh myself. And so
I was so close to purple mattressing myself.
and so he, as soon as his feet left the platform, he was like, I instantly.
We say liquid death for drowning ourselves.
Yes. He instantly regretted it, and he was like, and then I was like, just hoping to. He was like, so I feel like everybody that actually died probably felt like
or
me.
maybe they really wanted to die and that's why they died.
Yeah, and they're like,
And he didn't want to die and that's why he lived.
That's
and he
true.
was the only one that really wanted to live.
And then he hears this podcast, and he's like, now I'm killing myself.
He's like, oh God.
He's like, she's right.
He's like,
Annie's right.
is this? He thinks you're the girl and I'm the guy.
Oh, John Bon Jovi.
I've never. Have you ever been suicidal?
No,
Me neither.
never. I feel.
Which is where our anxiety is bullshit, right?
Yeah. Where it's like, if you really were anxious and
Right.
whatever, you'd be like, I can't
Do
live
you
like
fear? Are your parents still alive?
this. Yes.
Do you fear their death? Or are you over that since you've had kids?
Yeah, I don't think about it much. Their death. I think about more like, now it's about my kids. Like
Right.
I think about like, my dad's 76, my mom's 62. My dad's lost like a lot of weight. He's the healthiest he's ever been, but he's still 76. Your
It sucks
dad.
when you lose weight and you're old because it's like you don't really get the credit.
I know.
People are just like, you okay?
Everyone thinks he's on Ozempic and he's pissed. He's like, no. He's like, I eat one
I
tuna
know, I
fish
feel
sandwich
so
a week.
bad for people. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm anorexic.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for people that got in shape during Ozempic.
How old is your dad?
He's 83.
Oh, so he's
still fucking hilarious.
Right. Still good.
On the phone. We were on vacation and there was an indoor pool. I don't want to trigger you. There was a pool at the
Oh, shit.
vacation
I know,
home.
Yeah. I know. We have a puddle. No.
It'll work out. It'll work
Okay.
out. It'll be the right reason. That house will burn down or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
And the kids that live there will die. It'll be like you
Perfect.
saved your kids' lives.
Yeah.
There's a reason. You have to believe that.
Okay.
There's no other. The other option sucks.
Right.
That
So
you
just
ruin their kids' lives.
right.
But you're like,
Well, because I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I
No,
made
you
my
didn't.
kids
It's
trans.
fine. Well, it's
Just
probably
'cause
the
we moved.
tutu. It could be daddy tutu.
Princess Daddy.
But do you tuck when you do it?
Yeah, I go the full thing. If my kids want me to do something, I commit 100%.
Like, daddy, cut your balls off. Okay, so
Use the safety scissors.
it's the ones with the
Yeah.
the wave.
Right.
Okay, so we're at this vacation home and he goes into the pool room and my mom and I are talking and my mom's like looking into the pool and she goes, he fell. I thought she was talking about someone else because if I saw my dad fell, I would be screaming on the top of my lungs. 83 years old in a fall, that's like,
Hell yeah.
that's death, right?
It's bad.
That's like broken hip or whatever. So we look and my dad's like on all fours and my brother's like trying to pick him up and he has skinned his knees completely and I'm like, oh my God, this is our first day of vacation. I'm like, fuck. This is
I
my
just
worst
felt that
nightmare.
in my ass.
This is like my worst nightmare, yeah.
Shit.
Just, and then he was fine. He just skinned his knees. He like iced them for like 10 minutes. He came to Walmart with us.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fine. And his spirit is like,
Oh
good.
yeah.
Like he's like happy and excited. Like,
Yeah.
He just didn't let himself get hurt. And so that was like fucking amazing. And it was like almost a relief. It's like when you recover from a brain freeze, you feel
Right.
better. You're almost like glad you had a brain freeze.
Right.
That's how it felt. Like it was like, oh my God, it was such a relief.
Was
for
he
us
always
to
like
get-
that, your dad? Great spirit?
Yeah.
Positive.
He's like funny. He laughs. I mean, he's like kind of negative. He's like a little self-deprecating, but he's funny and he just laughs.
Him and your mom are together?
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah, forever. And then like, you know, my dad has bad balance, so like he'll fall against the wall and stuff and they just start laughing. Like they just think everything's funny.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a good example and they don't act old. They don't worry about being old. My like parents-in-law, or soon to be, I guess I just call them my parents.
Parents in Laos.
I mean, they're my parents in Laos.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically closer to my age than he. Sometimes I'm like,
yeah.
Who do I side with?
Yeah.
They're like in
young
their 50s.
and hot.
They're in their 50s. Yeah, they are. No, they actually are young and hot and amazing. But so his dad's a roofer and his mom works as a bank teller, and they're stressed. Like they work all the time. My dad's been retired for like 15 years, maybe even longer, 20 years.
Right. White privilege.
Yeah, exactly. They just like are, I mean, his dad's white as shit.
Nice.
Roofer. But so his dad's always like, I'm getting old. He's like, Annie, you got to get, like, they cause me so much anxiety because they'll be like, he's like, you better make your money now. Nobody's going to want to have anything. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, relax. My dad's like,
I just left my podcast.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I just got freedom. Leave me alone. Where were you before I left this podcast?
Yeah, I think. Oh, look, I did it again.
It's so fun.
I feel like you know, when the older people start, they also lived like in a radically different world than we lived in. Like it was. I know this sounds crazy, but it was easier for them to make money. There was more jobs. More people wanted to help people back then. People don't want to help people anymore.
The way we are. It's easy for us to make money.
You think
we
so?
We just have to get out of our own
ways.
Shit.
Yeah, I guess I've said some stupid
There's
shit
like
on this podcast.
one video could make you rich. It's like
I guess
we are very easy. It's
I
easy.
guess we got to just stop complaining.
There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
There's nothing to complain about. But I will say my parents are very spiritual.
Right.
And they like are always taking like a course or a class. They'll be like, we're doing Kabbalah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're not Catholic.
No, they're just very into like spiritual shit.
Yeah, see, I think too, my mom
meditates every morning.
See, I think that's where a lot of guilt comes from too. My mom is so religious, and her thing is like Catholicism is the only way. So she's like, if you're not going to church every week, you're doing something wrong. And I'm like, I don't want to.
I have a Sunday show.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want to have my own relationship with God.
Every once in a while, I'll go to Quaker meeting, and it's exciting for them because there's no like young Quakers. So they're like, because they're all about to die, so they're like, yay, and I'm like, I'm never coming back. I just came to like, because I thought it was funny to come back.
Yeah. Well, they're all about like peace, right? Quakers are all
you sit
peace.
in silence, which is very hard for me.
Yeah.
They fucking made me a comedian.
Right, of course.
You sit and like you stand if you like feel moved. It's supposed to be God speaking through you, but I stood every time.
Because you were like, God is speaking through me.
I was like, no, I just like wanted to talk. I was like, oh my God, you guys are all just here. I can talk in front of you.
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old. I was like, there's kids in Somalia.
Yeah. You're 7, 8 years old doing the Mike Racine underwear sniff joke in the Quaker church.
That's when I came up. I've been doing it since I was 7. I'm just gonna name my special Mike Racine smelled my underwear.
That's it. All right, where can people see you?
I am on the road. When does this come out?
Next week.
I'm in Florida, guys. So if you're not mopping up your lives, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Go to Florida.
But come, it'll be fun.
Where are you?
In Tampa.
What city?
I'm in Naples and Tampa. I'm on Naples on the 10th and then Tampa the 11th and 12th.
Oh, sweet.
I'm bringing Josh Potter with me. That'll be fun.
Sweet.
Then I'm like everywhere.
So what, AnnieLederman.com?
Yeah, AnnieLederman.com.
Just go see the dates, AnnieLederman.com.
Go see the dates. Are you here the 15th?
Of October?
Yeah. Are you
No,
here?
I get here the 20th. I'm doing Jeopardy.
Okay. That's so fun. You're doing
How
Jeopardy.
funny is that? We'll see what happens.
I'm going to be at House of Comedy. I'm in a lot of places.
Go to AnnieLederman.com.
Alaska.
Ooh,
Toronto.
Alaska will be fun.
Yeah, I'm just doing one night there.
Sweet. Why don't you bring Todd?
Sometimes.
Cute. You should bring Todd to Alaska.
He has all these reptiles now, so he's home with the reptiles.
Right. But half white, half Asian. He probably looks like an Eskimo.
Yeah, he probably would fit in.
Yeah, 100%.
It's fun because he is like pale, but then he gets so tan.
Could you imagine? He just gets off the
It's
plane
like
and
dating. Every once in a while, I'm like, I am dating a person of color.
Yeah, you are.
And I get the credit. We'll stop Asian hate.
100%.
All my holes stop Asian hate. Every single hole.
Yeah, I always make it a point, even though my kids look literal like Hitler Youth white. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing to have biracial children.
No, I do think we're doing
they're
good
half
for
Puerto Rican.
We're doing good for the world.
100%.
It's great. But also, I have Annie Wood, my show every Thursday.
Not Annie Gives You Wood, Annie Wood.
Yes, but I could give you. Call them the Givvies.
That's it.
The new
I like that.
for them.
Robin
But
Givvies.
watch it, YouTube, Annie Lederman.
Love it.
It's fun.